Welcome back to another episode of Consciously Clueless. I'm your host, Carly, and I'll be your guide on this journey from consciousness to cluelessness and back around again. Thanks for joining me for another Sunday solo episode. Whether it's Sunday night and you're getting ready for your week, Monday morning and you're on your way to work, or whatever day this podcast has found you, I'm really glad you're here. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness, or is it preventing you from achieving your goals? By now, you all know that therapy is an important part of my self-care. It has truly been a game changer in every aspect of my life. BetterHelp is the largest online counseling platform worldwide. They are changing the way people get help with facing life's challenges by providing convenient, discreet, and affordable access to a licensed therapist. BetterHelp makes professional counseling available anytime, anywhere, through a computer, tablet, or smartphone. You can start communicating within 48 hours. It's not a crisis line, it's not self-help. It is professional counseling done securely online. And I have a special offer for you. Visit betterhelp.com/Carly and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. By using this code, you get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Carly. Take care of yourself today. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast. All right, everybody. Today I want to talk about something that's real near and dear to my heart. So I've been kicking around this idea of creating a program about finding your why when it comes to making changes in your life. Specifically, I have this kind of outline that I've played around with for a program to offer to you all that would go through the different paths to kind of why eating plant-based matters. And you could talk about the environment, and maybe that is the thing that you connect to. Just trying to help people find different connection points on this journey. So I've had this idea. It's not fully fleshed out yet, as you can hear, but I kept thinking about, find your why, find your why, find your why. And sometimes they aren't necessarily on one of those paths. That's how it gets you there, right? Like you end up on these paths of caring about the environment or caring about your health or whatever it is. But there's often a catalyst. And when I think of that for myself, it is my grandmother. My grandmother on my mom's side was diagnosed with dementia, subsequently Alzheimer's, years ago. And at first, it was the early stages, and it wasn't as in your face when you think of Alzheimer's, of people not remembering you and forgetting things all the time and not being able to do things for themselves. That didn't happen for quite a while. She was just maybe slowly starting to kind of loop around in conversation or whatever it is. But I have a special relationship with her because every summer she would try and get to my hometown and visit and stay with us for a while, and we spent a lot of time together. After she was diagnosed, I was in college, I believe, when she was officially diagnosed. It was kind of a group effort. We were all, as many people in the family that could help, started to figure out how to have her live with them for a few months, just because she was getting to the point where she couldn't live alone. So all of this progressed through the years, and she got worse, and that meant that she needed help with things like bathing and going to the bathroom, getting dressed, eating, taking medication. So as she got worse, our relationship had to get more intimate because we were caretakers for her. And it was really hard to watch someone you love deteriorate and start to forget who you are. I had never experienced anybody close in my life with this disease. And so it was really eye-opening, and it was a really profound kind of shifting moment for me as a young person. Now, what does this have to do with becoming a coach and the programs I'm trying to create and all of that? She's my why. When I think about my solid foundational motivation for the choices that I make to try and be healthier, the things that I try and do to help others, it is because of seeing this cognitive decline in her. So for me personally, there's this why of not only do I want to do whatever I can to not end up in that state, but I also want to help others do the same, because nobody deserves that life. She is still alive, but she has no idea who I am. She looks completely different. She has lost weight. She is just a completely different human. And it is terrifying to watch, and it is even more terrifying, or just as terrifying, to start thinking about your family members going through that, other people closer to you, your parents, your siblings, whatever it is, whatever age you're at, whatever stage you're in. Maybe it's yourself too. And so that really grounds me. And it's not because I care about me or my grandma more than I care about the world or animals, but for some reason that clicks in my head and always reminds me of why I am doing the things I'm doing and why I care so much. Now, so many people I've interviewed on this podcast would probably say they've had a profound experience with an animal, and that is their why. They think about it all the time. Or maybe, I don't know, you can think of a myriad reasons to kind of have your why. But I think that it's really important to find it. What is the thing that lights you and kind of helps you get back to your North Star of why are you making these choices? Why do you want to be better? Because when we can call upon that why, it can snap us back when we're starting to kind of fall off the wagon. It can snap us back when we are starting to doubt our choices and our ability to make change, because it won't matter. The doubt and the fear can start to subside when you realize that you're doing it for this other reason. And that is motivating, and that will push you forward. She is my why. I hope that she knows that or feels that. But when I think about making these changes in my life, I think of her every single day. And I didn't have the drive I had until I made that connection to grow my business, to be a health coach. All of those things really do stem from her. And I've talked about it on the podcast before, but the Alzheimer Solution by the Shirzais was a game changer book for me. It is all about the connection between all of the factors we can control and cognitive decline. And it just shifted something in my brain for me, and I was like, yeah, that's it. I can't think about allowing people in my life to go through that. I don't want to go through that. I don't want anybody else to go through that. In case we forgot, I'm a Pisces, so I don't like seeing others in pain. And this is my motivating factor. I have a ton of other motivating factors. I care about the welfare of animals. I care about our planet. I care about people. I care about just my health and my general well-being. There are so many factors that keep me motivated, but I'm curious to hear, what is that foundational one for you? And maybe you haven't found it yet. Maybe you haven't found the thing that clicked and sets you on the path. And I can't explain why it happens or when it happens, but that's why I want to create this kind of program to walk you through these different things to see what clicks and to find your why so you can feel better and you can do better in whatever goal it is. It doesn't have to be wellness. Any sort of transformational coaching, anything you are trying to transform in your life. You've got to find that why so you can call on it and come back to it and be like, yeah, okay, yep. Everything else, the noise of the outside world, quieted. I can do this. Thanks for listening to another episode of Consciously Clueless. If you enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe wherever you're listening. If you want to help me get this into the ears of more listeners, send it to a friend, text it to a family member, share on social media. Whatever you can do really helps me out. If If you want a shout out on this very podcast, head over to Apple Podcasts, leave Consciously Clueless a review, and you might hear your review as the review of the week in the future. And you definitely should head over to patreon.com/consciouslycarly and check out the different membership levels, the community there, all the things that you can get by joining the community and supporting this podcast and this work. Until next time.